For Terry Thomas, mornings start with a familiar pattern.
Hi.
A kiss for his early rising wife, Nicole, and then come the lists.
Have you got everything ready?
I'll write it down, I'll find out. What else do I have to do today?
Without these reminders, not long after figuring out his plan for the day, he'd forget.
Wallet?
Yeah, wallet.
Are lists part of your reality now?
Yeah, all the time I have lists for everything because I'm just so forgetful. You know, it's like I have my name on things in work because I keep on leaving things behind. I have a list of sort of tools that I make sure that I have at the start of the day and I have them at the end of the day.
In August 2020, he slowed and stopped at an intersection as a light turned amber. The heavy vehicle behind him didn't.
I play it every day like a movie in the front of my head. And I just remember, I looked in the rear view mirror and was like, he's not gonna stop. And you sort of brace yourself.
His body has healed. His memory hasn't.
It's horrible, you know, it's like that's one thing I'm sort of really annoyed about is like memories from my childhood have sort of gone. My father passed away a couple of months ago and I can't remember things about my childhood and I can't remember things about my wedding. That's the thing that's upset me most at the minute, is like my childhood memories have gone.
Did you book your time off on Wednesday?
I need to put that on a list.
Terry is just one of the thousands of Australians who are injured or killed on the roads.
Major incident declared.
And this year, deadly accidents across the country have refocused attention on the road toll. Starting in the 1980s, Australia made steady progress as the number of those killed in accidents declined. Then recently, a plateau, and now the road toll is increasing for the first time in decades.
What we're seeing around the country in pretty much every state and territory is the numbers are going up instead of down.
Ingrid Johnston from the Australasian College of Road Safety says that's an unwelcome change.
We had some of the first laws in the world around lots of things that we kind of take for granted now.
Click, clack, front and back.
Seatbelt laws, drink driving laws, these sorts of things we led the world in, and that saw our trauma rates reduce significantly.
Surgeon Dr. John Crozier is one of those on the front lines treating the victims of the road toll in Sydney.
What we can't ignore are the facts, and we are seeing a significant increase in death rates around the country.
In New South Wales, as of November, road deaths are up 24% compared to a year ago, second only to South Australia. Nationally, road deaths have increased 6% this year.
As surgeons, we see the impacts of even very low energy crashes, the horrific limb fractures, the ruptured livers, the shattered bones. We've got to do a lot better than we are.
5 years ago, Dr. Crozier helped lead the inquiry into the National Road Safety Strategy. Since then, he says, there's been backsliding on proven methods to reduce the road toll, such as random breath tests for drink driving. Before the pandemic, in 2019, more than 15 million random breath tests were conducted on Australian roads. By 2022, the number of tests had fallen to just over 10 million.
Hand in glove with that, we've had an increasing rate of alcohol as a part of the variable in the matrix, if you like, of a crash, a key contributor in a third of our fatalities and up to a third of our seriously injured crash incidents.
Get on the gas. Excellent. On the gas. On the gas, on the gas, on the gas for me. Keep on
Road safety experts say another ingredient in the mix for the increased road toll is speeding.
Oh God, I'm going to crash!
On a test track in Melbourne, Cameron Gutterson instructs driver trainers, who then put learners through their paces. When he's behind the wheel, he notices more drivers are speeding.
But do you think there's more of that now? Do you think that has actually increased?
Yeah, so I think driver psychology and people being aggressive within their driving behaviour has been on the increase. We know that trying to get people to understand how to be good on-road citizens is super important because it decreases their crash risk.
And with costs of living rising and driver licensing requiring more and more hours, Gutterson says fewer new drivers are taking lessons.
When I joined the industry, probably the industry average for driving lessons was somewhere between 15 to 25 lessons. Talking to industry now, they're lucky to see them for 5 lessons and a test, or even as little as 3 lessons before they go for their driving test.
Drivers with less formal instruction, increased speeding, fewer random breath tests. Just some of the factors that play into the increased road toll. But it's impossible to know for sure what's happening because road toll data collected by states and territories is not standardized.
What is actually collected at a national level doesn't get us very far right now. So some of the jurisdictions look quite in depth at the road conditions and the type of vehicle and the weather that was going on and all the factors involved, but that can't be put into a national picture unless every jurisdiction is collecting that information.
The federal government says that is changing. Early next year, it will deliver the first ever data sharing agreement signed by all states and territories. Any reductions in the road toll will come too late for Terry Thomas. For him, every list of daily tasks is a reminder of the dangers drivers face behind the wheel.
If this takes a wrong decision, and your life or somebody else's life just changed forever. 5 seconds and all of a sudden, like, somebody's life's gone.